I opened her laptop and what I saw changed everything in a single moment. Sounds trivial? Maybe. But when you're sitting in your own apartment in Los Angeles, staring at a screen and realizing that the last months of your life have been a lie, triviality stops mattering. My name is Matthew, I'm 32 years old. I work as a production line operator at an electronics factory in the city's industrial zone. The work is monotonous but stable, middle class, nothing special. My wife Phoebe is 30 years old, a customer support representative at a large logistics company. We've been married for 4 years, have 2 children, Emma, a 3-year-old girl, and Noah, a boy who just turned 2. It all started that October evening when Phoebe left for another volunteer cleanup. She always loved such things: beaches, parks, public spaces. "We need to make the world better," she would say. I never shared her enthusiasm. After an 8-hour shift at the factory, I just wanted to collapse on the couch, not drag garbage bags somewhere on the ocean shore. That night Emma woke me up at 3 in the morning. She had a nightmare. I calmed her down for almost an hour, and Phoebe still hadn't returned. When I finally heard the sound of a key in the door, it was already 5 in the morning. "Did the cleanup run late?" I asked, trying to hide my irritation. "Yes, then we went with a few volunteers to grab coffee, discuss the next project," she answered, not looking me in the eyes. I nodded, although something inside me became alert. The following weeks, this something only intensified. Phoebe began going to volunteer events more often, sometimes twice a week. She would come home late with a flushed face and immediately go to the shower. She kept her phone with her constantly, even when bathing the children. I tried to convince myself that I was just tired, that work was throwing me off track, that I was paranoid. But instinct screamed otherwise. In mid-November, our washing machine broke down. Phoebe took my laptop to order a repairman online. She left it on the kitchen table, open. When I walked over to close it, I saw that she hadn't logged out of her social media account. I froze. My heart was pounding somewhere in my throat. My fingers reached for the touchpad on their own. A message was open. A conversation with someone named John. I started scrolling up. "Can't wait for Saturday." "Same hotel?" "Yes, room 312. "I've already booked everything." "You're incredible. I don't know how I lived without you." I read further and each word was like a blow. They had been messaging for months. They met at a volunteer beach cleanup at Venice Beach in August. At first they just talked, then began meeting after work as friends. In September everything changed. The first kiss, the first night at a hotel in Santa Monica. John worked as a dietitian at some clinic in Pasadena. In the photo, a fit guy about 35 years old with a perfect smile and a trendy haircut. They exchanged photos, wrote each other daily good mornings and good nights. He wrote her things that I once wrote to her. The worst part was what she wrote to him. "Matthew is a good person, I feel terrible about this. But with you I feel alive again." I closed the laptop and just sat in the darkness of the kitchen. The children were sleeping. Phoebe was taking a shower. The sounds of water came from the bathroom. Everything seemed unreal. The next days I lived in some kind of trance. I went to work, watched the conveyor belt, came home, played with the children. Phoebe suspected nothing. I was extremely calm. Too calm. But inside I was building a plan. First, I checked all her social media accounts. She used the same password everywhere. Stupid, but for me, a gift. I found more conversations, more evidence. John wrote to her about how he wanted them to be together officially. She responded that it's complicated, that the children, that Matthew doesn't deserve this. But she continued going to him. Continued lying to my face. I took screenshots of everything. Uploaded to cloud storage, to a flash drive, sent to myself by email. I wanted to have ironclad evidence if it came to a custody battle. Then I thought about our finances. We had a joint apartment in Koreatown, the purchase of which cost a considerable sum, a joint account, some savings. If we divorce, according to California law, everything is divided in half. But I couldn't allow her to get part of what we built together to then spend that money on John. That's when I remembered what my father taught me, who went through a difficult divorce in the 90s. Protect your assets while it's not too late. I began gradually withdrawing cash from our joint account. In small amounts so as not to arouse suspicion. Phoebe never particularly monitored finances, she trusted me. Ironic, right? With this money I bought bearer securities, old-fashioned but effective. No records in my name, nothing that could be traced. I hid them in a safe deposit box at a bank that Phoebe didn't know about. Within a month I had transferred almost 70% of our savings. One December morning when she was getting ready for another volunteer action, actually, a meeting with John at a hotel in Santa Monica, judging by her calendar, I said, Phoebe, we need to talk. She froze by the door, backpack in hand. Now. I'm running late. Yes, now. Something in my voice made her turn back. She sat on the couch. I remained standing. I know about John. Silence. Her face first turned white, then red. Matthew, I don't. I know everything. How long it's been going on, where you meet, what you write to him. I've read your messages. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I can explain everything. What? The facts are obvious. You've been cheating on me for the last 4 months. Maybe longer. You used volunteering as a cover. You lied to me every day, looking me in the eyes. Matthew, please? I didn't want it to turn out this way. It just happened. I interrupted. Don't tell me those things. You made choices. Every time you went to him. Every time you wrote to him that you loved him. She was sobbing completely now. I don't love him. I love you. It was a mistake, a terrible mistake. A mistake that lasted for months? I laughed, but without any joy. Here's what we're going to do. I'm ready to file for divorce. I have all the evidence of your infidelity. I will fight for full custody of Emma and Noah. And you know what? Even if the court decides that the children stay with you, you won't get a single cent. What do you mean? Our savings? They're gone. At least not where you can find them. I made sure they were safe. From you. Her eyes widened. You couldn't, that's illegal. Prove it. Try to find the money. Try to prove I did anything. Good luck. I walked to the door. The kids will wake up in an hour. Maybe you'll make them breakfast? Or are you already late for John? I drove to work, leaving her sobbing on the couch. The following days were hell. Phoebe begged for a conversation. She severed all ties with John, showed me how she deleted his contacts, blocked him everywhere. Told me she met with him one last time to say it was all over. He meant nothing to me, she said. I was foolish. I felt lost after the birth of our second child. It seemed I stopped being myself, turned into just a mom, just a wife. And John? He listened to me, was interested in me. But that doesn't justify what I did. Nothing justifies it. I listened but felt nothing. Emptiness inside. My parents found out. Mom came from San Diego, had a long conversation with Phoebe. She told me afterwards, she really regrets it. But it's your decision. Friends shared advice. Some said, divorce immediately, she's not worth your trust. Others, think about the children. Everyone makes mistakes. But what struck me most was Emma. One evening when I was putting her to bed, she asked, Daddy, why is Mommy crying? She's just sad, sweetheart. Because of me? My chest tightened. No, little star. Never. It's not because of you. Will you and Mommy always be together? I didn't know what to answer. Meanwhile, Phoebe did everything to prove she had changed. Deleted all social media accounts. Quit volunteering altogether. Came straight home from work. Left her phone unlocked on the table so I could check anytime. Signed up for therapy. I understand if you never trust me again, she said one evening. But give me a chance to prove that our family is worth fighting for. For Emma and Noah's sake. For the sake of what we had. I thought for weeks. Weighed everything. Anger, pain, betrayal. But also, the children's faces, Emma's laughter, Noah's first steps. How we built this life together. 4 years isn't that much, but it's not so little either. I drove to the safe deposit box. Got the papers. Looked at them for a long time. Maybe I'm a fool. Maybe I'll regret this decision. But I thought, if there's even the slightest chance that we can rebuild trust, even the smallest possibility that the children will grow up in a complete family, I have to try. Not for her. For them. I returned home. Phoebe was sitting in the kitchen with a cup of tea that she wasn't even drinking. I haven't forgiven you, I said. Maybe I never will completely. But I'm willing to try. For the children's sake. So that their childhood isn't destroyed. She cried, but these tears were different. Relief, hope, gratitude. But there are conditions, I continued. We go to family therapy. Both of us. You never contact John or anyone else in that way again. And if ever anything like this happens again, I'll disappear from your life so fast you won't have time to blink. And the children will come with me. I agree. I agree to everything. I transferred the bearer securities back to our account. Gradually, so as not to raise questions. Phoebe never found out about them. Now several months have passed. We attend therapy every week. We talk more than during our entire marriage. Phoebe has changed, I see it. She's trying. Every day. There's no trust yet. Maybe there never will be like before. But we're building something new. Not on the ruins of the old, but beside them. Sometimes at night when I'm lying next to her, I still see those messages. I hear her words about how she felt alive with him. And it hurts. But then Emma runs into our bedroom in the morning, jumps on the bed between us, laughs. Noah reaches out with his little hands to both of us. And I understand why I made this choice. I don't know how this story will end. Maybe we really will rebuild what was destroyed. Maybe in a year or two I'll realize it was a mistake. But today, at this moment, I can look my children in the eyes and know I did everything I could to keep their world intact. As for John, I heard from mutual acquaintances that he still writes to Phoebe. She shows me these messages without opening them, and then blocks the new accounts he creates. He can't accept it. Told her he loves her, that they should be together. But she made her choice. To stay. To fight for us. Sometimes sacrifices are needed not for revenge or justice. Sometimes sacrifices are needed simply so that two little kids can wake up in a home where there's both mom and dad. And if that means swallowing pain, living with a crack in my heart, rebuilding trust piece by piece, so be it. Because some things are more important than my pride. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click like if you enjoy this story. I always read your comments and analyze which stories you like best so that I can create better stories. Thank you. I will continue the story. The therapy sessions weren't easy. Dr. Richardson, our family counselor, was a middle-aged woman with kind eyes and an unwavering ability to cut through our defenses. In the first session, she asked us both to describe what we thought had gone wrong. Phoebe spoke first, her voice trembling. I felt invisible. After Noah was born, everything was about the kids, about Matthew's work schedule, about paying bills. I looked in the mirror one day and didn't recognize myself. I wasn't Phoebe anymore. I was just someone's mom, someone's wife. I wanted to interrupt, to say that millions of parents feel that way and don't cheat, but Dr. Richardson held up a hand. Matthew, your turn. I work 10-hour shifts sometimes, I said, my jaw tight. I came home exhausted. I thought I was doing my part, providing, being there for the kids when I could. I didn't know she was unhappy. She never told me. Did you ask? Dr. Richardson's question hung in the air. I sat back, feeling the weight of it. Had I? When was the last time I'd asked Phoebe how she really felt, not just, how was your day, in passing? No, I admitted finally. I didn't ask. That doesn't excuse what I did, Phoebe said quickly. Nothing excuses it. I should have talked to you, Matthew. I should have told you I was struggling instead of finding someone else to listen. Dr. Richardson nodded. Infidelity is never justified. But understanding the context helps us rebuild. Phoebe, you made a choice that hurt your family deeply. Matthew, you both had stopped truly seeing each other. That's what we need to work on. Over the weeks, patterns emerged. I learned that Phoebe had felt abandoned emotionally, that my physical presence meant nothing if I was just scrolling through my phone on the couch. She learned that my silence wasn't indifference. I'd been raised in a household where men didn't talk about feelings, where providing was considered the ultimate expression of love. Your father's generation, Dr. Richardson explained, often showed love through action rather than words. But Phoebe's generation, her needs are different. She needs verbal affirmation, emotional connection. And Matthew, you need respect and appreciation for your efforts. Neither of you was wrong, you just weren't speaking the same language. One session hit particularly hard. Dr. Richardson asked Phoebe about John. What did he give you that Matthew didn't? Phoebe looked down at her hands. He made me feel like a person again, not just a role. We talked about ideas, about the environment, about making a difference. He asked about my dreams, what I wanted from life beyond diapers and dishes. And the physical aspect? Phoebe's face flushed. It felt exciting. Wrong but exciting. Like I was young again, before responsibilities. Before I became boring. I felt the familiar anger rising, but Dr. Richardson turned to me. Matthew, what did you stop doing after the kids were born? I thought about it. We used to go hiking. Visit museums. Stay up late talking about random things. Then Noah came and Emma was still so little and there was no time. There's always time, Dr. Richardson said gently. It's about priorities. You both put the children first, which is natural. But you forgot that a strong marriage is the foundation children need. You can't pour from an empty cup. At home, things slowly shifted. Phoebe started leaving little notes in my lunchbox. Nothing romantic, just, hope your day is good, or, Emma told me she wants to be an astronaut now. Small gestures, but they meant something. I made an effort too. Every evening, after the kids were in bed, we sat together for at least 30 minutes. No phones, no TV. Just talking. About anything and everything. It felt awkward at first, forced even. but gradually it became easier. One evening, I told her about a coworker who'd been fired for falling asleep on the job. Guy's going through a divorce, 3 kids, working 2 jobs. I felt bad for him. Phoebe listened, really listened. That's awful. Is there anything we can do? The we struck me. She'd instinctively included herself in my concern. Maybe, I said. I'll ask around, see if anyone knows of job openings. These conversations, these tiny reconnections were rebuilding something. Not what we had before, that was gone, shattered. But something new, maybe even stronger because we were choosing it consciously now. Still, the specter of John lingered. He'd created multiple fake accounts to reach Phoebe. Each time she showed me the message before blocking him. Please talk to me. I miss you. She'll never forgive you. Come back to me. After the 5th attempt, I suggested, maybe we should report him for harassment. Phoebe shook her head. He'll stop eventually. He has to accept it's over. But he didn't stop. In late winter, he showed up at our apartment building. I was taking out the trash when I saw him in the lobby. I recognized him immediately from the photos. Same perfect hair, same smile, though it faltered when he saw me. You must be Matthew, he said, extending a hand. I didn't take it. You need to leave. I just want to talk to Phoebe. 5 minutes. She doesn't want to talk to you. She's made that clear multiple times. John's expression hardened. Does she actually not want to, or have you forbidden her? What kind of controlling? Stop. My voice was low, dangerous. You don't get to show up at my home where my children sleep and act like you're some kind of hero. You slept with another man's wife. You knew she was married, knew she had kids, and you did it anyway. You don't get to claim the moral high ground. I love her, John said, and there was desperation in his voice. I really love her. Can you even say the same? The question hit harder than I expected. Could I? After everything? Love isn't just a feeling, I said finally. It's a choice. Every day I choose her. I choose us. I choose to work through the pain, to rebuild, to try again. That's love. What you had was easy, stolen moments with no real-world consequences. That's not love. That's fantasy. John stared at me for a long moment. Then, without another word, he turned and left. Upstairs, Phoebe was waiting by the door. She'd heard the commotion. Was that? Yeah. What did he want? To talk to you. I told him no. She wrapped her arms around herself. Thank you. I don't think I could have faced him. You won't have to. If he comes back, I'm filing for a restraining order. That night as we lay in bed, Phoebe turned to me. What you said to him about choosing me every day, did you mean that? I was quiet for a moment. I'm trying to mean it. Some days are easier than others. But yeah, I'm trying. She took my hand. I choose you too. Every day. I know I destroyed your trust, but I'm choosing to earn it back even if it takes forever. Spring came, bringing with it small changes. We started taking family walks on Sunday mornings, all 4 of us. Emma would run ahead, chasing birds, while I pushed Noah in his stroller. Phoebe walked beside me, close but not touching, respecting the space I still needed. One Sunday we ended up at Venice Beach, the same beach where she'd met John. I hadn't planned it, but there we were. Phoebe noticed immediately. We can go somewhere else. I looked at the ocean, at the volunteers cleaning up trash in the distance. No, it's okay. It's just a beach. We can make new memories here. Emma wanted to build a sandcastle. As we helped her, packing sand into plastic molds, Noah tried to eat fistfuls of it. Phoebe and I worked together, laughing at our son's determination to taste everything. For a moment, just a moment, it felt normal. Like before. Like we were just a regular family having a regular day at the beach. Then Emma looked up, her little face serious. Daddy? Mommy? Are you happy? The question caught us both off guard. Kids see everything, understand more than we give them credit for. Phoebe answered first. I'm working on being happy, sweetheart. Some days are better than others. Emma turned to me. What about you, Daddy? I looked at my daughter, then at my son, then at my wife. Yeah, baby. I'm getting there. It was the most honest answer I could give. Work became a welcome distraction. The production line was predictable, requiring just enough concentration to keep my mind from spiraling. My coworker, Steve, noticed I'd been quieter than usual. Everything okay at home? He asked during a break. I considered lying, saying everything was fine. But Steve had been divorced twice. If anyone would understand, it was him. Phoebe cheated on me. Few months back. We're trying to work through it. Steve whistled low. Man, that's rough. You staying? For the kids. And maybe for us too. I don't know yet. My first divorce, I left immediately. Didn't try to work it out. Looking back, I wonder if I should have. Second one, I tried too hard, stayed too long even after it was clearly dead. There's no right answer, Matthew. You just gotta do what you can live with. How do you know what you can live with? Steve shrugged. You don't until you try. But I'll tell you this, resentment is poison. If you stay, you gotta really forgive her eventually. Not just say it, but actually let it go. Otherwise, you're both just slowly dying. His words stayed with me. Was I capable of truly forgiving? Or was I just going through the motions for the kid's sake? That evening, I brought Phoebe flowers. Nothing fancy, just a small bouquet from the grocery store. Her eyes widened when she saw them. What's this for? Trying, I said simply. She buried her face in the flowers, and when she looked up, her eyes were wet. Thank you. For trying. For not giving up on us. That night, we made love for the first time since I discovered the affair. It was different from before. Slower, more tentative. Like we were rediscovering each other, relearning what we both liked, what felt right. Afterward, lying in the darkness, Phoebe whispered, I know I hurt you. I know what I destroyed. But I promise, Matthew, I will spend the rest of my life proving I'm worthy of this second chance. I didn't respond immediately. Finally, I said, I need you to understand something. I'm choosing to stay, but a part of me will always remember. It won't define us, but it happened. We can't pretend it didn't. I know. I don't want to pretend. I want to acknowledge it, learn from it, and build something better. Okay then. Let's build something better. By early summer, we'd established a new rhythm. Thursday nights were date nights. Phoebe's mom would watch the kids and we'd go out. Nothing fancy, sometimes just a walk along the beach or dinner at a casual restaurant. But it was time for us. One Thursday, we went to a small Italian place in Silver Lake. Over pasta and wine, Phoebe brought up something that had been on her mind. I've been thinking about going back to school. Maybe taking some online courses in environmental science. I want to do something meaningful with my career, not just answer customer complaints all day. That sounds good, I said. Expensive though. I know. But I've been looking at community college programs. They're affordable. And I could study after the kids are in bed. I saw the light in her eyes, the excitement. This was the Phoebe I'd fallen in love with, passionate, driven, wanting to make a difference. Do it, I said. We'll figure out the finances. Her smile was radiant. Really? Really? You should pursue what makes you happy. She reached across the table, taking my hand. You make me happy. This family makes me happy. I was an idiot to risk it all. Yeah, you were, I agreed, but there was no venom in it. Just truth. But you're staying anyway. I'm staying. The summer brought challenges I hadn't anticipated. Emma started asking questions about why Mommy had been so sad, why Daddy had been so angry. We tried to shield the kids from our problems, but kids are perceptive. Dr. Richardson suggested we sit down with Emma and explain in age-appropriate terms that Mommy and Daddy had been going through a difficult time but were working to make things better. Did you stop loving each other? Emma asked, her little voice trembling. No, sweetheart, Phoebe said, pulling her onto her lap. We never stopped loving each other. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes and it takes time to fix them. But we're fixing them. Promise you won't leave? Emma looked at me. I promise, baby. I'm not going anywhere. That seemed to satisfy her, though I knew we'd have to revisit the conversation as she got older, answer harder questions. Noah, thankfully, was too young to understand. He just wanted both of us present, didn't care about the adult complications. His innocence was a gift. As fall approached again, marking a full year since I discovered the affair, I found myself reflecting on everything. The anger had dulled to a manageable ache. The images that once haunted me still surfaced, but less frequently. Phoebe had been true to her word. She'd deleted all social media, come straight home from work every day, been completely transparent. She'd started volunteering again, but this time at a women's shelter, helping survivors of domestic violence. And she always invited me to join her, keeping everything open. John had finally stopped trying to contact her. Last Phoebe heard, through the volunteer grapevine, he'd moved to San Francisco for a new job. Good riddance. One evening in late October, almost exactly a year after that fateful discovery, Phoebe and I sat on our small balcony after the kids were asleep. The Los Angeles skyline glittered in the distance, thousands of lives being lived in those buildings, each with their own struggles and triumphs. Do you ever regret staying? Phoebe asked quietly. I considered the question honestly. Sometimes. When something reminds me of what happened and the anger comes back. But then I see Emma teaching Noah how to share his toys, or I watch you reading to them before bed, and I remember why I chose this. I'll regret what I did for the rest of my life, she said. Not just because of how it hurt you, but because of who I became in those months. I didn't recognize myself. That wasn't me. People make mistakes. Not everyone gets the chance to fix them. Thank you for giving me that chance. I put my arm around her shoulders and she leaned against me. We sat there in comfortable silence, watching the city lights, feeling the cool evening breeze. I love you, she whispered. I love you too, I replied. And this time I meant it without reservation. The road ahead wouldn't be perfect. There would still be hard days, moments of doubt, times when old wounds ached. But we were committed to walking that road together, as imperfect people trying to build something lasting. Our story wasn't a fairy tale. It was messy and painful and real. But it was ours, and we were writing a better ending than the one that almost destroyed us. Thank you for watching this video. YouTube may no longer suggest my channel to you, so subscribe to it to receive new interesting stories. You will also help the channel grow and improve the quality of its content. The screen now displays a playlist with other interesting stories that you can listen to. You can also write in the comments what stories you would like to see on the channel.